So what I'm talking about today is touch software. So this is software for creating gestural interfaces and doing those sorts of things that you see people doing on their iPhones. But while we do run on the iPhone, our focus is actually in other places where we can bring that same sort of experience to other devices that might otherwise lack it. So the market is software solutions for touchscreen devices, and we've really been able to ride a wave recently of awareness in this type of technology by what both Hewlett-Packard have been doing with their devices, as well as what Apple have done in the consumer space. And so it's great to go to trade shows now and have people come up to our screens and start going like this and trying to do things which 12 months ago they weren't aware of. For us, though, the focus is very much on marketing and entertainment applications. So most of our engagements and what we do is we do a services and software licensing model. So a lot of our engagements, probably the majority, involve people that walk up to screens and interact with advertising material, product information. Why we've got an opportunity there and why that's interesting is because what we see today in the market is pretty boring. So a lot of kiosk software, a lot of digital signage is not interactive, or if it is interactive, it's not very intuitive and it doesn't look good. So what we do is we actually create sexy software. So that's really our point of difference and the understanding of how to build a user interface that really comes alive and helps sell the brand or the product or helps make the experience of that consumer device more interesting. We've been able to leverage the need for partners and clients of ours who need content. So there's a lot of people out there who are trying to sell solutions that don't necessarily have the last piece with what they need, which is the interaction for the user. And again, there's been a demand for fresh ideas and fresh talent. So we've currently got a project going away with a major multinational consumer brand that will have a product next year. And we've been brought in specifically because of our expertise and our software. But there's a real lack of knowledge out there at the moment in how to build these types of user interfaces, and we're able to leverage that. So what Fingertapps is it's an advanced multi-touch and really multimedia interaction framework. So really it's all about interacting and playing with content in interesting ways, whether you're a consumer or whether you're being advertised to as a consumer. But as I mentioned, consumer entertainment and marketing. Just an example of a project that we did, and I've got a video I'll show in a minute as well. This is a project we did here in New Zealand for Toyota, for the Lexus brand. And pretty soon if you go into the Lexus showrooms, you'll see this working on a nice big large form factor touchscreen. I've actually got it running on a touch device out in the foyer as well, so you can come have a play with it. But again, it's all about very high production values and interesting ways of having the user play and interact with the marketing content. And what's really interesting is you can talk about this stuff, and I did this the other day on the phone to a guy in New York, and it wasn't until I emailed him the link to this and said, hey, look at this, that he really, really came alive and people really understood. And my background is enterprise software. I used to work for IBM on a global basis doing middleware and stuff like this. And this is really the first time I've been involved with consumer and visual software. And it's amazing what the sales, how much easier the sales process is when you can show people how cool it looks. So what you're seeing here is the user's able to come up and they're able to gesture through and choose something they want to look at. So here they're going to look at the different product features. So they can use a simple gesture, tap, and then flick it away. And they can scroll through, and it uses the physics engine and the feel of the interface. So it's not just about pretty pictures, it's about having that feel of friction and momentum and things that you can bring the user interface to life. It makes it really interesting. And of course, you've got Bill Gates out there at the moment saying that this is really, really the future of user interaction. And he's a little bit wrong in that. Where he is right is it's going to have a big place, but this isn't really about business applications at this point. This is about these sorts of more natural, larger, graphically interesting applications that you can get out there and people can interact with, like the iPhone and like these types of things. And what you're seeing here is just the use of the concept of zoom, where you can zoom into information that's embedded in the screen. Some of you might have seen the TED demo where Microsoft demoed this a couple of years ago. We've got a bit of a thing at the moment where we love to crib ideas from other people and then make them happen. So we've done an engagement for a major global bank out of Toronto where we've taken the idea of Microsoft Surface and actually delivered that to them in a customized fashion that they can actually use with their clients, while Microsoft is still just talking about it and showing off in AT&T stores. So we really have been quite lucky in our ability to ride the wave of interest in things like Microsoft Surface and the Apple iPhone and other systems like that. So let me talk a little bit more about Fingertapps and some of the other things that we're doing. As I mentioned, one of the key markets that we go after is out-of-home advertisers. So these are people that create kiosks. We're doing a project at the moment with bus shelters in the US. We're doing another project that involves large format advertising on street level in the US. We're doing a project in walk-up marketing in China at the moment. People that want to get out there and sell advertising that's interactive and interesting. So it's not just showing PowerPoint slides to someone as they walk up on the street. They can actually touch it, see it, explore it, and make it more engaging for the user. So it's all about next generation interactive advertising in that context. And there's a real emphasis on new and engaging. And this hasn't changed, whether it's in terms of the economic crisis, there's still an amazing amount of interest in creating a differentiated experience for the consumer and getting the brand experience more interesting. The other space that we work in, and we have one primary client in this space at the moment, is in the consumer device area. So this is where you're talking about mobile devices and PCs. And this is the other place that you're seeing this touch technology come out, and you'll see a lot more of it. HP have already released a product, and there will be other products to market in the future as well. So those are the two splits: commercial consulting, where we do services and we deliver bespoke solutions for marketing, and then the more consumer-oriented applications that we're developing as well. Our strategic focus in terms of a route to market, how we get out there, is primarily via channel partners. We've worked very closely with Next Window in Auckland, who provide the hardware, and we've had a very successful relationship with them in getting out to their partner channel and helping them with the content that they need to help sell solutions to their customers. We already have partners in the Americas, in Europe, and also in Asia, and also here in Australia and New Zealand. And as I mentioned earlier, we have a business model which is a mix of IP services, IP licensing, I should say, and custom bespoke services. So we build templates for clients, they deploy it on our platform, and they license the platform and pay for support and services. So it's a mixed model. The competition in this space is primarily roll your own. So people trying to build this with existing languages. At the moment, we have a window of opportunity which we're riding, which is there's not a lot of knowledge about how to make an intuitive touch user interface. So a small organization from New Zealand can really get a foot onto the global stage, and that's been really, really good, really satisfying. As I said, that's because there's a lack of talent worldwide in this space. And so we have a window of opportunity to establish the brand, establish the channel, and that's what we're going after right now. A lot of what we do is done via word of mouth. One of my clients is a telco based out of Canada. They found us on YouTube. They introduced us to a German organization that we're now partnering with, who mentioned us to a New York client that we've just signed a good chunk of business with. So because our product is easy to understand, easy to see, easy to sell, it can spread via word of mouth. And one of the key things that we're looking for from the Kia network is more introductions and more opportunities to find partners, and in some cases, direct opportunities as well, but predominantly partners that we can work with to enable them to deliver solutions to their clients. In terms of intellectual property, we have key innovations in graphics, language, and architecture. The platform is owned by the company Unlimited Realities. We develop it. We can do innovations such as we have a fully multi-touch enabled web browser, all the sorts of content features you've seen there. We can move very quickly. We predominantly protect this via trade secret. We're a closed source application platform, have pursued patenting in the past. The space we work in is very difficult to get patents, and if you believe some of the stuff that's been on the internet in the last week, the US Patent Office is about to kick quite a lot of the software patent space to touch. So that will be interesting. It is a very litigious area. We've got a nice big spreadsheet of prior art ready for people when they jump up and say you're patent infringing. But there's a lot of prior art out there stretching back to the 80s for some of these types of gestures. At the moment, Apple is going around trying to say that that is intellectual property that they should own. So good luck to them. The company itself is 12 years young. It is evolving from a services-led to a product-led organisation. I've been involved for about 9 months and specifically came in with the assistance of New Zealand Trade and Enterprise to develop the commercialisation strategy for this technology. And we've really accelerated things for them. It's been a really good program. And the other thing has been is just going offshore and doing services offshore has really assisted, especially with that New Zealand dollar heading the way it is. It's been really good. We have a global team experience from both IBM and Nokia included in that. The chairman and now the CEO of the company is Gowan Pickering, who was the former head of IBM New Zealand. And I used to work for IBM on a global basis as well, so quite a lot of software and enterprise experience there. So how you can help, really what we're doing today here in the room, and also to those of you at home watching this. As I mentioned, really looking for introductions to channel partnering opportunities, in particular in the consumer marketing space and at the executive level. So very much within established companies. So we've worked with some startups that can be a little bit problematic. We don't mind being a startup ourselves, but much prefer to work with someone that's already got a customer book and a problem, and that's worked really well for us, where we can come in with a specific solution to that problem. We're pretty good like that. So thank you very much for your time. That's all I've got to say. If you want to know more information, you can see all these applications on our website and video. It's fingertapps.com with 2 Ps. Thanks.